What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at your live as I get to the power of the internet, and this is my weekly gaming news wrap-up, so let's just get right into the news. So we're about a month away from Fallout 76, and I'm pretty excited to play this game still, but I have been very critical of this game, as have many other people. The good news is a lot of YouTubers, a lot of publications have been invited out to play this game. There's hour-long, 2-hour-long playthroughs of this game that you can see on people's YouTube channels. So before you pre-order this game, before you purchase this game, you should definitely watch some people play it. I have, and I've got some thoughts about it. This pretty much uses the Fallout 4 engine, and it looks so close to Fallout 4 that you will probably not be able to distinguish gameplay right away until you see certain mechanics that are only exclusive in this particular game. Now, that said, it's missing a lot of stuff that Fallout 4 had, including NPCs and things along that lines. The only NPCs you're ever going to find are going to be other players. They're going to be PCs. They're going to be player characters, not non-player characters. But that is to say, there's still quite a bit of questing and still quite a bit of stuff to do in this game. I was fairly surprised because it seems like every little camp, every little settlement has something to explore, and there's some pretty unique stuff right around the spawn point, the vault. When you leave the vault, you're going to find some pretty cool stuff. No spoilers, but they did a good job of making this game interesting and playable. I think if you prefer the single-player Fallout experience, you will probably enjoy this game a fair amount, but not as much as you would a traditional game. But there is a lot of content, a lot of stories, a lot of holotapes, a lot of games and stuff to play. There are still ghouls and a lot of monsters to fight. There's still a lot of content there. And apparently, a lot of people who've played this game said coming across other people is actually fairly rare unless you go into the game with a lot of other people. And when you do meet somebody else, it tends to be interactive and kind of fun and kind of silly and not so griefy and miserable and awful. So I think that's kind of unique. I'm kind of interested in trying this game for that alone. Bethesda still has not said how many people are going to be allowed on a particular server at a particular time. So your chances of running into people, it should be fairly uncommon. And when you come across their settlement, when you come across the stuff they've built, a lot of people say it fills you with like a certain amount of wonderment, especially when they've built in a place that you're used to that's normally not got stuff there. So I think that alone is intriguing to me. But on top of that, if you do have friends on your friends list, there are obviously boss fights and things that you can do that do require multiple people. That, I think, is probably the most intriguing thing, being able to go in with 3 or 4 friends and fight some really big stuff and hopefully get some really big rewards. But who knows? At this point, we still haven't played the game, so I don't know for sure. But everything I've seen so far keeps telling me that this game is not as bad as I originally anticipated, though not as good as a traditional Fallout entry would be. All that said, I'm definitely planning to stream this game. I might even do the unthinkable, which is pre-order it so I can get in on the stress test this weekend or the beta before this game goes live so I can show you guys footage so you can watch me play it on stream and you can make an informed decision. Let me know, is this a game you're interested in? Have you given up on this game? Have you watched some of the footage? Let me know in the comment section below because I'm really interested in finding out how you guys feel about Fallout 76. I still don't know. I'm hesitantly hopeful. Now, this week's video was sponsored by the folks over at Verve, and if you want to help me out and support me, go to verve.co/BOOGIE and download the Verve app right now. Now, the reason I continue to recommend Verve is because it is a perfect place to watch a tremendous library of great entertainment. Whether it's a podcast like Critical Role or Harmontown, or you want to watch some Naruto, some One Piece, some Attack on Titan, it's all available under one roof right here at Verve. I personally have been watching a lot of the Nick Splat cartoons, and I highly recommend that you do. If you missed out on that stuff growing up, those 90s cartoons, there's nothing like them. You should check them out on Verve. All you got to do is go to verve.co/BOOGIE, download the app, and when you do, you'll get a 30-day ad-free trial of Premium, and you'll be supporting me at the same time, so I really hope you do. Go watch some cool stuff when you're done with this video. Then in other news, Super Mario Party 11 came out. This is basically Super Mario Party for the Switch with a Metacritic score of 77 by the critics and 7.2 for the user score. And I have to say that feels about right. This is probably one of the best Super Mario Parties in several generations. I think the Wii version was not very good. The Wii U version was terrible. Most of the 3DS games I really didn't enjoy. This is probably the best that it's been for a while. That is to say, it's still not great. It's kind of shallow. There's not a lot of gameplay modes. There's not a lot of mini games. There's a lot of stuff to do there. And it still destroys friendships with the bonus stars and everything else. But at the end of the day, I don't know. It was worth playing, and I'm glad I picked it up. I don't know that I recommend it yet. I'd say wait till it goes on sale, but it's a Nintendo game. They never go on sale, so good luck with that. Probably worth renting, though. One other piece of news here, by the way. Are you familiar with Obsidian Entertainment? Because you might have played Fallout New Vegas, or Pillars of Eternity, or Pillars of Eternity 2, Star Wars Knight of the Old Republic, South Park, The Stick of Truth, or so many other amazing games. Well, it looks like Microsoft is acquiring that company. And in fact, people have said the deal is all about 90% done. It should be announced as official very, very soon. Now, this could turn out to be a really good thing because Microsoft is going into a next console generation, and maybe there'll be a couple of Obsidian games leading that generation. Some really good RPG, maybe as good as Fable was treated back in the day. The downside is Microsoft does tend to purchase companies like this and then change them and irrevocably destroy them and pull them completely apart and then bury them and use their IP to make terrible Kinect games. Please don't let that happen with Obsidian. Obsidian is too good to do that too. Then again, so is Rare. Microsoft, please don't mess this one up. Please. So the CEO over at Sony and PlayStation has basically confirmed that they are working on the PlayStation 5. Now, this is kind of obvious. When you finish the PlayStation 4, you start working on the PlayStation 5. When you finish the Xbox One, you start working on the Xbox 2. I mean, that's kind of obvious, but it is nice to see them talking about it because if they're talking about it now, that probably means we're going to get a lot of information at next year's E3. My biggest guess is that it's going to come out in 2020, not 2019, but who knows? They might surprise us by maybe trying to rush to market. But the CEO of Sony basically said they were working on a PlayStation 4 successor. Did not call it the PlayStation 5, though. He did say at this point, what I can say is it's necessary to have a next generation hardware. So there's really not much here. Now, if you're somebody that feels like this is way too soon, you got to keep in mind the CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, John Codera, already said that the PlayStation 4 is entering the final stage of its life cycle, and he kind of hinted that this may not happen until 2021. He did say, we will use the next 3 years to prepare the next step, to crouch it down so that we can jump higher into the future. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it won't be 2020. Maybe that's when we'll get the E3 information. And all of this could be more about playing tricks on Microsoft than it is anything else. I mean, talking about this publicly certainly could be a PR move, getting people prepared for the end of the PlayStation lifecycle, getting them excited about the next one, but it could also be manipulating Microsoft into rushing the market and releasing a less powerful console maybe too early to try to jump the gun. Who really knows at this point? But here's the thing. Microsoft kind of has their head in the clouds. Microsoft has announced Project Xcloud, which is basically cloud gaming. And we know that Google's already been working on that. We know that PlayStation has kind of perfected that with PlayStation Now, even though that's kind of a failed service. But Xbox definitely is looking at cloud gaming so they can stream Xbox games like Halo to your PC, to your phone, to your tablet, to any device regardless of platform. And we know a lot of people are playing Fortnite and PUBG on mobile, so maybe we're finally there. I hope that's not the cornerstone of the next Xbox console or the PlayStation console at the same time. But who knows? At the end of the day, that may be where this is moving. I just don't think internet is good enough here in the United States or worldwide. I just wonder if that's a smart decision. But we do know that mobile gaming is the future across the world. And, I mean, maybe there's a Switch in the PlayStation future. Maybe there's a Nintendo Switch for the Xbox in the future. Could you imagine a portable Xbox console that uses cloud computing? I could get into that. And then finally, I think it looks like it's all but confirmed that there will be new Nintendo Switch hardware with some minor upgrades and improvements. Most notably, people who say that they're in the know, distributors and manufacturers are saying the Nintendo Switch will have a better version with a better screen next year. Probably not an OLED screen, but a slightly more improved screen. But I think that's not the only reason they are revising the hardware. If you guys remember, people found a backdoor in the Tegra chip that runs the Nintendo Switch. People are allowed to do homebrewing and hacking and do pretty much whatever they want to do with their Nintendo Switch. A new version of the Nintendo Switch will probably fix that hardware loophole. So I think moving forward, you will not be able to hack a Switch. So if you're thinking about purchasing a Switch and you want to be able to maybe hack it one day, you want to be able to do homebrew or put your own games on it, you probably should purchase one of this models. If you're just looking for a better screen and you plan to waiting one more year for the new version to get announced and come out, probably not a bad decision. But this is what Nintendo does. They basically try to sell you the same hardware over and over and over again by improving it. But of course, PlayStation and Xbox did that this generation too. I bought so many PlayStations, so many Xboxes. It only makes sense that I buy another Switch. All right, that's going to do it for this week's Gaming News Roundup. I hope you enjoy these videos. Sometimes I think some of these articles should be just individual pieces, but then again, the video turns out to be like 3 minutes long. I think it's cooler to do it all in one big wrap-up, especially if you guys enjoy this. So let me know in the comment section below. Let me know by dropping a like on this video. While you're down there, check out this week's sponsor, the folks over at Verve. Download the app using my link. I'll be super glad you did because you'll be supporting me at the same time, and you can be watching some cool stuff. Guys, as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon.